Regional Director with the Better Business Bureau, Miss Sydney Waters, is joining us to talk about the grandparent scam. And it's everything I can do to not say, "Hey, Sydney, do you like scary movies?" I do it to you every time.
It.
I know. I can't help myself. It's a thing. Oh, but yeah, I love scary movies. That's probably why I do it. Okay. So, Sydney, welcome back.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
You're welcome. This really, really torques me when people pick on old people. I don't like it.
I know. I actually did a presentation yesterday where we talked about these grandparent scams, and a couple of people had already fallen victim to them, so thanks for having me on. I just like to let people know what's going on in our community.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I actually know of one person, not from this state, but who fell for this, and they said you would have swore to God it was their grandchild.
And that's a great point. And, you know, the reason why is we talked a little bit about this before, but we have AI now, so artificial intelligence. And with AI comes this new technique that really beefs up the grandparent scams, and it's called voice cloning. And so scammers really only need 3 seconds of recorded audio of a person's voice to replicate it using AI, and then they can send AI-generated calls or voicemails or voice messages asking for money.
You know where they got a hold of this person's grandchild's voice? From their voicemail on their phone.
I know. And, you know, that's one that we didn't even really talk about yesterday, but that is a great point. You know, you may want to have your voicemail be that automatic robot voice.
Or have your boyfriend do it, or a guy friend, or anybody.
Exactly. Or another thing you can do, too, is just have that auto where it just clicks and goes straight to voicemail. But, Fawn, bringing up where people get this voice content from, your social media is definitely something you need to think about, too. Because if you think about your social media, those videos that you may share on there, if those are open to the public, I mean, they can steal video content, audio content, basically whatever they need to generate videos of you or voicemails of you saying whatever they would like.
Yeah. I don't post anything public. My page is private. But you know what? There's the news page. So if they wanted to, they could get it from there.
They could. So, you know, we do have some tips. You know, it's almost impossible to be completely discreet with your voice nowadays. So we do have some tips for your family to tell if a call is AI generated.
Okay.
So, first of all, if you get one of these calls, double check the source. And unfortunately, they do have spoofing apps now that can make the caller ID look like even someone in your family's phone number if they want to.
Yep.
So if you get this call, hang up the phone and contact your grandchild, your friend, whoever it is directly. You have their number in your phone. Hang up, contact them directly. The next thing is...
But I mean, you're freaking out. So
you're freaking out. Yes. So that's my next point. You have to stop and think before you react. I know it's scary and you're taken off guard, especially with these scams. A lot, it comes that the grandchildren are in jail. So, you know, they'll call, say, "I'm in jail in Texas. I need $6,000 to get out." So stop, pause, think. Where is your grandchild? Did they say they were going to Texas? Is that something they normally do? Does the message really sound like the person that you think it is, the tone? So just pausing can really throw up some red flags for you.
Yeah.
Now, this next one, Fawn, this is my favorite in my family, and I do this. So you need to have a safe word for calls. So pick a unique word for you and your family to use on the phone.
We have one.
If you are in trouble.
Yep, we have one. Even if somebody's trying to pick up the kids, they have to know the code word.
That's perfect. And make sure you keep it private. And that way, if you receive an urgent phone call that seems to be from a family member and they don't use the word, just hang up.
Yeah, and you know, if my grandkid actually was in Texas in jail and they said I need $6,000 to get out, I'd be like, enjoy your bologna sandwich and beans.
That's what someone at my speech said yesterday. They said, "Well, sounds like they're staying there."
Yep. I guess you did something stupid, have fun. And then they'd get no money from me anyway. But you do have to have that safe word. And the bottom line is, you know what? I do get calls from my grandchildren running into the police, but it's usually I'm in a park and I'm not supposed to be here. Can you come and get me? Blah, blah, blah. But it's local and it's legit because I can hear, I'll ask to speak to the police officer. I'll ask to speak to somebody else who's there. And oftentimes that helps.
Absolutely. And you have your safe word, and they're not asking you for strange amounts of money. So that's a great indicator as well.
Right. So a lot of times they'll ask for money, though. Their main thing is to get cash from you.
Absolutely, yeah. So they want cash, and if they can't get cash, the next best thing is your identifiable information for identity theft.
Mm-hmm.
But generally, they want cash, and the way that they want it is a way that the bank can't track it or see it. So if you get a cash request from this phone call, and they would like it through a gift card, wire transfer, or cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, something like that, keep in mind those are transactions between you and the person you sent it to. So the bank does not back those transactions. They don't see them. They have nothing to do with them. And if you send that digital currency, it is super hard to get it back.
I can just hear my mom, if somebody called her, she's 86, she'd be like, "What the hell is a Bitcoin?" That would be so funny. She's something else. But, just limit where you post your voice. We've got a lot of influencers who are all over every single social media platform because it's how they make their money. So it would be pretty easy to spoof them. That's why if your kids are going to post themselves or be online or whatever the case may be, and you're going to allow that, you need to talk to them about this.
Absolutely. And, if you start getting a lot of those calls, Fawn, definitely register your number on the Do Not Call registry. And actually, your Android and iPhone has a setting on it that if it's a number not stored in your phone, it can send it directly to voicemail.
Yeah,
so
but
you
that
don't
makes
even
me
have to
mad because
answer.
then you don't answer me for your radio interviews.
Well, I've got you stored now, Fawn.
A lot of people are like, my phone didn't ring. I'm like, that's because you have me blocked. Okay. But yeah, so you can set it that way, but then you're going to miss other important calls. So that's a choice you have to make yourself. I just block the numbers that come in that I know are spam. But
yes, manually blocking, that's great too.
yeah, the AI voice generator or even the AI that they are posting that looks like actual people online is shocking.
It is. It is. And, that's a great point. With the video content, there's a few things that you can look for, too, because they can even send you a text with a video of your grandchild in it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get one of those, look for strange light in the background. A lot of times the person, you have to remember, it's kind of like put on top of a background, so the background may not match up. And we often see strange light beams in the background, as well as shadows. The skin texture is kind of glowy and glossy. And then zoom in on those really intricate details like fingers, toes, teeth, glasses.
Yep.
Yes. AI has a really hard time of replicating those. So if you notice that those aren't quite right, hopefully you know what your grandchild's teeth look like.
Yeah.
And you can kind of pick that out as AI.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are some things one of my grandchildren would just never wear. So it would be really easy for me to know whether or not he'd be wearing that outfit. All right.
Exactly.
So where do people go to learn more since we're out of time, Sydney?
Go to bbb.org. We have tons of tips for spotting AI, as well as just tips for all sorts of scams, including this grandparent scam.
Sydney Waters, Regional Director, Better Business Bureau. Don't get scammed, Gramps and Grams. Don't let it happen. Thank you.
Thanks, Fawn. Have a great one.
You too. Bye-bye, Sydney.
Bye-bye.